melee attack, or not a melee attack range, but
Can be.
she's also fairly close. Exactly.
Yeah. Only goes up to 500, I believe, with Righteous Fury on. So shorter than basically Sivir attack range with her E on, if I have my numbers right. And thankfully, we're in Spectator, so if she misses the ultimate, we can just point it out and be like, yep, didn't press R. What a scrub.
You enjoy that, huh?
I'll just make fun of all the players that are significantly better than me.
Such a bully freak.
I'm safe here in America. It's got to take a while to get over here. I'm not going to see these guys till Worlds if they make it to Summer Split. Not even a problem here.
So I'm predicting some dance-off action.
I hope
go
so.
Down here. It's always fun to see the Mundos up top lane because you get the little mini game of chucking cleavers into the bush.
Yes.
But Lee Sin here isn't even playing that game. He has not even gone into that bush yet, so we don't actually even get to see a skill shot contest early.
That wouldn't even be fair. Ku couldn't even see him coming.
No, but he could hear him coming.
That's true.
Throw out sonic waves.
Yes. Sonar the cleavers. The speed of sound is slower, though. You get less time to react.
I'll drink you.
All right, so actually we got taunts and laughs coming in the mid lane. No dancing, actually. Odwamna in a bit of an interesting spot. He's kind of more towards the mid lane. I feel like there's a plan here for C9 because of just the fact that Lee Sin's up more, or maybe I'm like looking at nothing.
I'm pretty sure he's just going to start on his red. That way their bottom lane, the Caitlyn and Leona, can shove. This is what a lot of people have been making this adjustment because they don't want their bottom lane to get pushed in early and be behind that early level 2.
Yeah.
So a lot of junglers have been not requiring their duo lanes to help them. So I think that's what Ku and Odamne are doing right now. Whereas we'll have to see how it turns out because Lulu is going to help, and it's just going to be Jinx in the 1 versus 2 down here for the first 10 seconds or whatever it takes him to help. So that's going to mean the early level 2 going to the Leona lane.
That's going to be scary. Doran shielded both these guys, so Ku hits level 2. Yeah, so the junglers start out pretty much equal and safe. Forbidden missing some early CS, really early push by NIQ. So that's going to be a 2 minion lead here.
Dang, 2 minion lead, that's huge. Now it's down to 1.
Yeah, so I thought Kale got the entire wave, and I'm like, wow, she only got 4 CS in the shove. Never mind, that completely ruined my entire point.
It was good because she was going for that harass that you're talking about. If you establish yourself as the alpha player in lane early, then you can play around the other person being defensive from then on. Yeah. So even though you lose out on the CS on the first wave by going for full harass, you can make it up later.
Ooh, Voidal shouldn't have missed that one.
So I guess you were talking about how he hasn't played that much Leona.
Yeah.
Maybe it's showing.
Missed that one. Right there. Thing is, Alendix actually, he's been spamming the crap out of Leona in solo queue. It's like 3 times as much as next most played. And so some of that was like, oh, they're trying to steal because they researched. But then like if Voidal doesn't do well, it's like, well, you kind of picked yourself.
Yeah, sometimes you get yourself into a sticky situation if you are counter-picking, but it's not something you're comfortable on.
Yeah.
So then everybody's uncomfortable, and it just is awkward, kind of like sitting next to Freak. Oh! Meanwhile, Lee Sin's down bottom lane. He's going to go for a gank.
All right, there we go. Lands it. Will it take a bunch of damage? Slowed down by Lee Sin. Good glitter lance, but the guy's still running away. It's going to be Voidal eating a chomper and then walking back, but good damage, forcing a flash.
All right, so they got a flash down bottom. Let's see what happens up top, because this is basically just the jungler's choice now. Lee Sin opted to focus his duo lane, whereas Olaf is going top, and is not even going to get a flash.
Wow, good job by Dwamna, knowing the timing roughly, getting that one down at a good time right there. Sees Olaf was looking for a gank, doesn't find nothing. So we're back down to this bottom lane. So Hjarnan and Voidal getting the early push going. Of course, they had that at the beginning. They're back to the state right here, trying to harass, actually, Willa and Alendix, taking a good bit of pain. And even though that gank only burned a flash, just the fact that Jinx has lost so much health means she has to give up a lot of control on this lane.
Definitely, successful ganks are not just measured in kills. The harass and summoners burned doing a really big part because that takes its toll in CS. Since they were already getting shoved under the turrets, it's going to be harder for her to keep up.
Burned that potion already, about half HP, actually even lower. Yeah, okay, so an early recall here from Jinx, just enough for a Vamp Scepter. That's going to be where she goes back in. We'll see if Cloud9 Eclipse matches that with their bottom lane soon. Ku looking for an invade right here. Does not get it. Actually, Smites early does not steal the big wolf. Steals a little one, level 4. That's a good one.
Consolation prize.
Consolation, 8 gold.
You get the junior wolf. That's going to be a waste of time for him. So Olaf slightly up now. But Caitlyn has been doing work on this bottom turret because of that early recall you talked about for Jinx. It's not always a terrible situation to be the one to be forced to recall first, because as long as you do get to the point, your first purchasing point, which is that Vamp Scepter, then your opponent pretty much has to recall as soon as you get back anyway, and you've gotten through the early phase where they got shoved in the early level 2 of Leona, and they can even it out here in the next wave.
And Voidal on the recall actually picks up a Relic Shield as well. So Cloud9 actually got a second recall. They got both their champions, whereas Alendix stayed in the lane. So random things to think about. Lulu's going to hit 6 first, and Lulu has no new items. So I want to see if that actually plays out anywhere.
Yeah, good thing for them. Lulu hitting 6 first is more of a defensive ult that she's going to get, whereas Leona would be looking for a kill as soon as she hits it. So it looks like it is going to be a bit more of a defensive posture here. But because they're both spread out, Lulu wanting to go purchase as well leaves, again, Jinx by herself for a little bit here, and going to lose out on a few more CS.
All right, so weirdly timed recalls. Willet's going to be stuck in a 1v2 for a bit of time. You can see you're zoned out right here. Mid laner's tried to roam through and doesn't find anything for it, though. Gets pinged out, doesn't find Mundo. Zap gets the cannon. Nice play by Wulite. Does not get jumped on by Voidal. No.
Another good juke or misplay from Voidal, however you want to look at it.
He was revealed, too, so he had hit a Caitlyn trap already.
So
didn't land it.
Is this something that you definitely want to do when you're playing junglers like a Mumu or something with those long-range skill shots that your opponent knows you're looking for? If you also have something that's melee like Leona, you can just run up and Q her. Just run straight at the champion because they'll try and juke you like that, as you can see, and which will allow you to gain distance. And then you can just land the point-blank thing. That's usually the higher percentage play to go for instead of trying to land a long-range bandage toss or Zenith Blade.
Yeah. Well, Kikis gets jumped on level 5, dropped very low, gets the Kayle ulti just in time. Ku not going to capitalize on that kill just yet. NQ low on health and now no ulti.
Ooh, dangerous. Can he land the Sonic Wave?
There's the flash. The Q does not land. Doesn't get Terra aggro either, so he's pretty safe.
So that was very dangerous. Kayle uses his flash before Sonic Wave comes out, but is able to dodge right after he flashes. Immediately after flashing, sidesteps, expecting the Sonic Wave from Ku.
All right, very well played right here. Blue buff invade, though, coming across. We did see the Kikis got very low. Blue's picked up by Hjarnan. That is nice for Cloud9 Eclipse. Early buff steal.
You definitely want to delay Kayle as long as possible, and taking away the blue is going to help a lot. It's even better that Ku didn't have to take that blue and they gave it to Hjarnan, because now they can just constantly shove that in. And since they already got early turret damage, that's going to definitely take its toll.
It absolutely is. Just good luck here to Pulse on the bottom lane. Looks like a bit of a different build there for Alendix, going for the Sightstone with that Ruby Crystal. We'll see how that one pans out for these guys. Minions, as far as the AD carry is concerned, pretty equal. Items pretty close. Hjarnan went for a pickaxe instead of a Vamp Scepter. Top lane is progressing, though, as well. Odoamne is going for Blade of the Ruin King versus the standard... I don't know. Joki's got an extra Ruby Crystal. Maybe he just couldn't afford the chain vest.
You can make... Yeah.
I don't really see that, though.
You don't really see Mundo with Warmox?
Not the first item.
Yeah. Rushing
not against Shyvana.
Maybe not. Since Shyvana is going for a Blade of the Ruin King, it would be a perfect counter build for her. If Mundo rushes Warmox,
more health,
then Blade of the Ruin King is going to do wonders for him.
A little bit unsafe for Odoamne. NIQ shows up as well. Turns onto the Dragon form. Cleaver gets flashed, and it's going to be safe. Whew, close one.
Very close one. But meanwhile, down bottom, as we said, I feel like blue buff is really underrated on AD carries. Caitlyn is half AD caster with the Piltover Peacemaker, making up a tremendous amount of her damage for harass and wave shoving.
Yeah.
It's really going to help her out, and they're doing a lot down there.
Ooh, good ult by NIQ, though. Is going to put some damage back out of Bevin. Kika shows up as well. All right, they trade ultimates, and decent amount of health bars on both sides.
Without that blue buff for Kayle, it's going to take a lot longer for him to sustain in lane. And he is slowly draining on mana, so Ku could go for another turret dive, knowing that the Kayle ulti is down.
Oh, there he is.
Missed axe!
They're just walking at each other, looking for NIQ. No flash available, kicks him, and down goes NIQ. Ku just getting run at by Kikis, doesn't even care. Good kill pickup.
I like that he was going to go for the dragon kick into the sonic wave so that you can actually use your target's body as an escape to get out of the turret. But the kick killed him anyway, so it was unnecessary. Good thing the turret was on for Forbidden, though. Just able to walk out.
Wow, the jump on a kick is good damage there. Ku forced backwards, but he is playing very aggressively and landing a good amount of it.
Yeah, Ku's really having a good time in that mid lane. Every time Forbidden calls out the cooldowns there for Kale, he makes the move and he capitalizes on it very, very quickly. I like their mid and jungle communication seems to be really on point so far.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of it. And I also want to point out that Ku got an early Doran's Blade. His Spirit Stone just now got finished. He's going towards Ancient Golem. But he had Boots, Machete, Doran's Blade. So he was like going for the combat stats, knew he wanted to get those ganks in. And he found him, so that was good.
That is an interesting play because a lot of people really want to get the Sight Stone as early as possible to be able to make those more of those spectacular plays. But with the addition of those trinket-free hopping wards there, less so nowadays.
Yeah, you got something to cover that one for now. Pulse pushing up the mid lane for now. Minions actually going pretty well into Forbidden's favor right now. 1,000 gold lead for Cloud and Eclipse.
Oh,
nice knockback, and they've got Ku coming in, but Forbidden forced backwards, but just buys enough time, doesn't land the Sonic Wave.
So that one, we already talked about the mid and jungle communication. It seemed like Forbidden was just a little early there as Lee Sin was not in position, but sometimes you do that on purpose because a laner that sees that much aggression is going to instantly check for jungler, and when there's no jungler around, then it'll put them at ease, allowing him to come in later.
Shows up, yeah. It's like a double fake or something. Pulse.
A triple deke. Go for Mighty Duck reference?
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes. Oh man, here we go. Cloud9 Esports into the flying V right there. Ku looking for the raise. He's going to find him. He's going to get that one. Not a big problem. There no counter jungling by Kikis just yet. Odwamna still trading with Chokies up in the top lane. These guys actually holding pretty equal. Only 14, 15 minutes apart. Kikis, though,
kind of a random call for Dragon here. They do not have a pink ward down. This is not prepped. They have not made any changes over to sweepers for sweeping lens control. And they did not have vision of Lee Sin. And so definitely good. I think it was a good reaction by whoever told them to stall out and cancel that Dragon.
Yeah, I actually like random dragons because you never think about them. Q just actually warded that second, though, and I was like, actually, you know, and he finds it, so that was cool. There was a pink ward here for Lendix. Didn't use it to sweep anything, though. The Voidal still zoning at the back lane. Look at the levels, by the way. 8 and 8 versus 6 and 8. There's a big level lead down to the bottom lane here.
Yeah, it's really showing because of the mistimed recalls, I guess. You actually lose out on some amount of experience because two people share lane experience and you get a bonus. While a single person does get more, you lose out on that bonus.
And looks like the Dragon's going to be falling down pretty quickly. Oh, just coming across. Kikis does pick it up. Nice smite. Ku couldn't even press the button in time. So Dragon goes to Pulse.
Didn't even have to use his Ragnarok there, but just the Ghost going down so he could get into position, and very well-timed Jinx Rocket as well. Like the steal away for them. And their AD carry situation bottom, you have to remember that the Leona did pick up Targon, so even though the CS is showing a little bit in favor of Jinx, there are a few extra ones there coming from Leona.
Yeah, now to tier 2 of that one as well, so getting pretty nice here for the Cloud9 Europe squad. Top lane turret did go down. That was Odwamna winning the lane against that teleport Mundo, now up 25 minions. And again, that turret kill, pretty nice. So that has worked out so far for C9E.
Early turret definitely going to benefit. They actually got the turret top before the Caitlyn lane gets turret. I did not expect Caitlyn with blue buff to be the one behind on turret destruction. But man, did Odwamne really show that Shyvana is still a great early champion against Mundo.
Definitely did a great job of this one. Blue buff's going to be not stolen this time around. Forbidden grabbing his own blue. We saw NIQ get his not that long ago. So mid lane's back to kind of normal. Only 17 minions apart here. Both finishing their first big item, Nashor's Tooth versus Athene's Unholy Grail.
I do like the rushed Nashor's Tooth, especially with Kale's synergy with the offense tree now stacking up blade weaving and spell weaving so fast. But the Mundo that you were talking about pointing out early, the early giant spell, looks like he stalled out on that build. Maybe it was just because he had the right amount of gold on his back. to pick that one up. Now it looks like he is going straight for that Spirit Visage instead.
That's just sorry, that's just weird.
Yeah,
I just like sat there. I was like, huh.
He had a moment of clarity. He was like, oh my God, she's rushing Blade of the Ruined King. I don't want to go early Warmogs. Let's flip it and go with the Spirit Visage.
Get some of that regen. Okay, so Kikis actually will get some China jungling this time around. Nope, doesn't get it at all. Warms it up for Ku.
Man, he got it down to half, but Ku wants blood here.
He's going to get the red buff slow. There's the axe, lands the Q.
Kayle has her ultimate for this 2-on-2. That could be really, really painful.
Gets the E-slow, jumps to his teammate. A lot of damage from Kayle, forcing the flash out of Q. Rocket comes across, not going to land. Gragas Q, there's a jump in, one attack, and Q goes down, picks him up. Gragas ulti was already down. Great chase there by NIQ.
Oh God, double buff Kayle is ridiculous.
Oh no.
At a 15-minute mark here, she's going to be able to run all over the map right now. Infinite sustain because of the extra mana from blue buff, plus the harass on her range auto attack. Never mind, blue buff runs out. Ha! Only get half a buff now.
All right, well, mid lane turret, though, under siege right here. That was killed by Cloud9 Esports a little while ago, but it's going to be answered soon here. They've been clearing some of the minions. Not quite all of them, but doing a pretty good job of holding on to the line. Odwamna showing up mid doesn't find much. He's going to turn back.
I do like that early pink ward from Cloud9, by the way, just because they have the Shyvana who's shoving in this Mundo and wants free reign of the red side jungle. Placing that one on the back side of the red allows her to make that roam whenever she wants. She knows that there's no vision going to catch her going down to mid lane. So if she does find another opportunity where Kayle is shoved up, then Forbidden can easily set up that gank.
Oh, it's looking pretty good for them. Got the ward. We'll see how long it lasts. NIQ takes a bunch of pain, ults himself. Forbidden a little bit low, likely to not go down. Picks it up with a body slam. NIQ getting killed. Cloud9 2-1 in kills. Small gold lead as well.
Buff transfer complete. Back on Gragas now, and every single lane here for Cloud9 shoving in. It looks like the Caitlyn Leona are the last ones trying to still work on that turret.
And we talked about how good they were in the pregame, and they're failing us in the turret kills. Come on, guys. Hjarnan and Voidal, do your jobs.
I mean, yeah, this game has really been a lot about the jungle and mid synergy, plus just Shyvana running over Mundo early.
Yeah, Ku has just been there, like in mid, like the whole freaking time. He's like really tried to make this lane work, and that was my scare with Kayle. Is like she's pretty immobile. Gragas like should just make her drop. Ku made that one happen. Kikis, Joki's showing up. Not going to land many slows. They're going to be okay. Hjarnan, though, dropping dangerously low. Woolite putting the damage into Voidal. Lands a slow, still chasing. Picks putting out some damage as well. Hjarnan, another shot in the face. And they're going to get out.
The thing is, too, as we move more towards the mid game here for Cloud9, they have an amazing siege team right now. I mean, Gragas plus Caitlyn, anytime you just have those two champions by themselves, means you have a good shot at the late game tower sieging. So if they ever do get out of this lane here, if they end up taking out that outer turret, as soon as they join the rest of the team, it should be pretty clear path for them.
Well, on this top lane turret, dangerously low. Cloud9 forced to run away from Jokies. We'll see if that path can get cleared for these guys. See if they can keep it going right now. 2,000 gold. Dragons up in 45 seconds.
So not only have Pulse warded defensively for their bottom lane, because this is the last outer turret that they have standing down there for Lulu and Jinx, but those wards that they use to see the incoming ganks and tower dives are also going to set up well for that dragon.
Yeah, it's going to be a good place for these guys. We'll see him Pulse. They'll see Pulse coming in. Pulse shows up to the mid lane, pushes them back 23 seconds now on Dragon. Voidal adding more to the ward coverage, adding another one to that route in. That one in the like upper right-hand side jungle hasn't been cleared yet. Kikis again jumped on, forced to ghost away, and she's going to miss the dragon. Just airball. Wow, that's embarrassing.
Right over Olaf's head there. Ku actually going to get caught out a little bit here.
He's going to be okay, though. Blue buff goes to NIQ right before the fight. Kikis forced away. Odwamna still a dragon, but a shamed one.
That was definitely a Free Willy moment. Olaf just sees the giant blue dragon flying over his head. But we already prepped this point really well because we said, you know, Mundo taking teleport in that matchup means he has the global advantage. So even though he got shoved in super early by Shyvana, he's been able to stay up there and get some CS back and put some pressure onto this turret while the rest of the team forces the dragon.
And they get it completely. Pulse able to delay until they have to react to the teleport Mundo moves. No, Cloud9 is going mid instead. The plays here these guys just making just advantages out of nothing. They're still going for the inhibitor turret, and here's the teleport from Mundo.
They've now cornered themselves. This is a tight spot.
Okay, Traps land, hit 2. Hjarna in a bad spot right there. Mundo comes on and Kick is chasing as well. The dive in towards the Lennox. 3-man knockup Q forced away. Oh, the stun on NIQ. He kills him in midair. Goodbye to Lee Sin, trading 1-for-1 so far. Voidal trying to solo the mid laner. One more, gets him. Fabivin not in a good spot though. 1 versus 2, or 2 versus 1. Kickus picks up 1. Now the 1 versus 2 for Odoamne. Nowhere to go, is going to have to be pretty careful at this one. Still wanting to fight. I'm not sure that this is a good idea. This fight's going well for Pulse though, 3-2.
Now, Cloud9's thinking there. We have the global objective of Dragon being forced by Pulse. And their Mundo is top, teleport, so we need to go somewhere else. They don't want to take the fight at Dragon because the Mundo is going to teleport in, and they didn't have the greatest of vision. So they decide to rotate mid. Sounds like a good idea. But after taking them down the first turret, they move on to the inhibitor, which sandwiches them between the turret damage and the rest of the Pulse team. So they are inevitably going to have to take that fight anyway that they didn't want to take around Dragon. And it ended up going against them this time. It was actually a pretty good job by Cloud9 by splitting up the team. As soon as Kayle ulted, you saw Ku kick him out so he couldn't get off damage freely while he was invulnerable. But then it was so hard for them to finish off the Kayle. Ended up getting another kill before it went down.
The mid-air Lee Sin kill, I think, was my favorite part of that one, where he's like diving forward and it's like, I'm gonna get you, and then like swatted out of the air. Like
Ku going in again, though. He misses the combo this time.
Slow onto Willet. They're going to go on forward. Actually, Ascension used. Oh, no, the slow lands, and goodbye to Jinx. Alendix going away sad and alone in that bottom lane.
So when you miss the Sonic Wave after your Dragon Kick, that's often because your mouse was too close to your champion trying to throw it out, so you don't get the right angle, and he just barely missed it right there.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2014 European Challenger Series, and it's time for round 2 in this best-of-3 battle between Pulse Esports and Cloud9 Eclipse. Now having to forfeit due to reaching their 10-minute pause limit, Pulse Esports is looking to even up the series, while Cloud9 Eclipse is looking to advance to the semifinals with one more win.